I see her for who she is now.
We're very close.
Yeah. We have gotten very close. We understand each other a lot more. And I think being a mom too helped me understand her so much more. The second I became a mom, I was like, oh.
All right, friends and family, this is Isika with Msafiri Podcast. And today I have two amazing ladies they are going to introduce themselves, tell us about themselves, their names, and anything that they want to share. Ladies, welcome to Msafiri Podcast, where we talk all things, diaspora. Karibuni.
Thank you.
Asante sana.
Yes, I will have you guys introduce yourselves. Let's start from Milca.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me today. And I'm so honored. My name is Milca Kakete. Formerly, was called Milca John Luziro before getting married. And then, I got married. I have 3 children. My first one is called Jen. She's here with me today. And my second one is Jeremiah. And my third one is Beryl Faith. Yeah, and maybe let me talk more about myself. What else about myself? Okay. So the ones that I introduced, they're part of myself, I guess. But I love the Lord. I am a born-again Christian, a believer who loves Jesus dearly. Jesus is the Lord of my life. Without him today, I will be nobody. So I give him all the glory. I am currently residing in Edmonton, Alberta, in Canada, and I serve God over there as connection pastor in my local church. And also, I am a gospel singer, worshiper. I have produced a lot of songs that are on YouTube and other platforms. Like if you just go there and write Milca Kakete, that will be me. I am very humbled I don't like to call myself a gospel artist. I like to call myself God's servant or evangelist through music as a worshiper. Because truly, the music that I do have transformed people's lives. So it's not about performing.
Right.
It's about ministering to people. And so even when I do it, they start ministering to myself and uplift me, and before even ministering to others. So to me, it's a total ministry. So God has given me this voice for the glory of himself. So I have witnessed people, one person being healed from HIV from the music that I did. So anyway, maybe we can talk later. But that's me in short.
Awesome.
That was short.
You do wear like mini shoes for sure. Man, that's wonderful. So, I know we'll say this later on probably, but people go to all social medias and look for music and be blessed. Yes, and please, Jen.
Hello, Msafiri audience. My name is Jen. I am a local here in Grand Rapids. I am a wife. I am a mother. And I'm also this woman's child, a daughter. And I'm really happy to be here today.
Karibuni. Karibuni, yeah. Thank you so much for introducing yourselves and telling us a little bit about you guys. I am excited. Welcome to America.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is this your first time, Milca, being in America?
No, I have been in different states before with the ministry that I do, the music ministry.
Yes.
So, but in Grand Rapids is the third time.
The third time, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's visiting
awesome.
my daughter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Karibu sana.
Yeah,
Well,
asante.
in today's conversation, guys, we'll be talking about mothers and daughters. You know, I'm excited. I'm a guy, I'm not a daughter. I'm ready to learn about really what it is about for a relationship between a mother and a daughter. And so I'm excited to have this conversation. Please, where I go, Ames, guide me, but this is our podcast. Let's drive it, right?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Now that we have introduced ourselves, and kind of described a little bit about what you do, we will just have in one sentence maybe describe how life was growing together as a mother with your daughter, or as a daughter with your mother.
Growing up, it was a fun time. I'm multicultural, so I was born and raised in Tanzania, and I was there until I was 12.
Yeah.
12, and then
13.
I think when we
13.
got here a month later, it was.
Yes.
So it was fun, playing outside, always being outside, never watching TV really. We literally had 2 channels, but just the, African childhood of being free, playing with neighborhood kids, and just the endless activities to do outside, just free. I loved it. No shoes, just out running around, seeing what we can get ourselves into. All safe fun, but so much fun. Way more than, can have here. Sorry, but yeah. Yeah, it was a good time. My mom has always been a strong woman in my eyes, and a lot of people's eyes, but in my eyes, she's always been a strong woman, and she has always guided us in the right way, being leading a godly example, a biblical example. And so, yeah, childhood was fun. It's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
What about you, Milca?
Yeah, about me and the relationship between me and my daughter has been a journey, a good journey, I would say, because like as a mother as well, living for the first time, you get I got to do experiment with with her, and so I'm so grateful to God that God gave me her to be a gift to me, to my life, and grow both of us together. And the journey that I'm talking about, it consisted of 2 cultures. So raising Jen in Africa, she was a daughter, a child who is very curious. She had this curiosity mind, and also she knew her rights from the get-go. Like, since she was little.
Yes.
Yeah. So, it was very fun raising her in Africa, coming to North America as well. It was another chapter, to learn together. In both ways, it has been a blessing. Yeah. And God has grown our relationship and knit together so well. So I would say my relationship with my daughter has been nothing but a blessing. Yes.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Because you're the firstborn.
Yes.
Awesome. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's a good way to say about it, because like I'm assuming, and probably the case, that for the first child, a lot of parents kind of is the first time they're experiencing this, and definitely there are things that they will have kind of to experiment and see what works and what doesn't work.
Exactly.
It may probably not always be good for the kid, but they do what they gotta do what you gotta do, right?
Yeah. You learn as you go.
You learn as you go, exactly. And
that's right.
Lucky ones comes later.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes. So what is, I'll start with you, Jen. What is one thing that you admire about your mom that you probably, don't say often? And also kind of what you admire about your daughter, Jen, that maybe you don't say often, but deep down you appreciate about them or admire.
I say it a lot, so it's hard. I usually say that she is very strong, just like I even led with in my introduction. She's very strong as a woman, as an individual, let alone as a woman. As an individual, she's very strong, and then as a woman, she's very strong. And her kind of strength is the strength of like being humble, like humility, yet strong. So just always taking her time before she does something, doesn't just go on a whim and does it. So she's very wise in her strength, and just being able to go through the toughest situations with such grace, without complaining, and just being able to just endure and persevere. And in the process of her challenges, she stands strong in her convictions, and also with her high held eye. So she's never going to crumble under pressure. I've never seen her crumble under pressure, actually. And then also on top of that, she's going to have a good attitude about it. So that's something I admire about her, and everything that she does, like whether it's with singing, whether it's with parenting, whether it's with her being a wife, it's just always with a great attitude, smile, grace. Yeah.
That's awesome. And that's encouraging. Just kind of somebody that in a way you're looking up to, and
sure.
getting
She's
like
definitely a guide.
Yeah. What about you, Milca?
Talking about Jen, I'm not saying this because she said so good things about me. No. But this comes from deep down my heart as a mother, and her being my firstborn. As I previously said that she has been a curious a child, and that didn't, the little did I know that she will grow up to be my therapist. Let me put
Shows calls me her therapist.
Let me put that way.
Yes.
As she says, okay, my strength as a wise mother and wife and a woman. Women go through a lot and they endure lots. So with me, with my experience, my daughter has been my therapist, because the way I was wired is to many, I'll be a hero, woman. Always, you give, you don't even remember about yourself. She has been the one who will say, wait a minute, mom, stop. Yeah, let's, examine about yourself, like self-care. She taught me how to, to practice self-care and all that.
She didn't know that concept.
I didn't know that concept. Go and serve others.
Yes.
Without thinking about, even in the airplane, we are taught, before helping somebody else, help yourself first.
Yes.
In order for you to help somebody else. So I'll be going until my cup is empty, without realizing. She'll be the one with the eye to see that,
Wow.
Mom, yeah, your energy is low here. Come on, yeah. And then so that's why I call her my therapist. If
Yes.
I was to add another title, I would say she's my doctor.
Wow.
Yeah. That's
Wow.
that's the
Yes.
the least I can say
Yeah.
about her.
Yeah.
Because my nature is like I don't share my my crying or my situation.
You don't ask for help.
I usually don't ask for help, but she is the one who would, before I ask for help, she will know where to give me help. So yeah.
And that's amazing, because it also takes a level of humility for an African mother to actually listen to their daughter. Because in many cases, it'll be like, maybe a slap somewhere or a pinch is like, who are you? Like,
yeah, it's true.
What actually made you to be able to say that, hey, she may be like younger than me, she's my daughter, but I'm going to listen to her?
Right. That's a good question, actually. Thank you for asking that. Because really, me sharing this, I'm sure it will help somebody else somewhere there. Coming from my previous culture, or in Africa to North America, having that culture shock, it was the Lord. I would say the Lord, because I'm a believer, as I said. So the Lord is the only one who helped me to be humble enough to listen to my own child, whom I bore, and it was just that humility that was developed in me.
Because in Africa, the culture is that the parent knows everything.
Yes.
The child
you cannot. No, you cannot.
Just like Isika said, the pinch or a slap.
Right.
And that's if the child is small enough. But when they're older, not a pinch or slap anymore. Like, it's this arrogance.
Yes.
And this pride
ego. This ego that we have.
I know everything.
Yeah.
I do.
Right.
So to get rid of that, it takes a lot.
That's why I'm saying, to me, the way I see to it is, it's only when you are humble enough and you say yourself you're a child of God who carries humility and, the fruit of the Spirit in you. If you're practicing that, it won't be hard for you to, if you can have humility with other people outside, as we, sometimes because we put those hats of calling ourselves Christians, but sometimes we forget how we walk.
Yes.
How we walk that Christianity title.
Yes.
We'll be going and to the point where we become hypocrite.
Yeah.
Because if you cannot be humble enough to listen, God can use your own daughter to be of help in your life.
That's true.
But if you have that ego of yourself, not realizing that you are blinded enough to listen to what God will be, using you, or will be using somebody to help you with your ego, then you need to sit back and revisit.
And sometimes the blind spot is not even willful. It's just out of habit and out of culture. Because that's just what the culture says, and that's what you've been for so long, that you don't realize, oh, this is a spot, and I need to
revisit it.
And there's new ways of doing things, different ways of doing things.
Jen, I'll bring this close to you because your mom she's projecting her voice a lot.
I know. I tend to talk really low.
Yeah. And then building from mother, as your mother said, you are her doctor. You are her therapist. At what point, was there like a point in life when you realized you need to step in and play that role of being able to say to your mom, hey, you need to step down. Hey, you need to look into this and into that. And how she responded when you took that role.
Wow.
Did she respond in the way that you expected, and were you surprised? And what kept you going, even, playing that role in her life?
Those are really good questions. And I might need you to repeat the other ones because there's like 5 in there.
I know, yes. You can just maybe just in general, like, when did you realize actually you needed to be the person who steps up? And
so earlier, my mom had mentioned that it's her first time living. And so for me, I was having similar blind spots that she was having. Because again, you are what you know. And so what I knew was from her. And so like, if I'm working on something in myself and I notice it in somebody else, especially, if it's my family and I want what's best for them, I'm going to want to talk about it. So when it comes to these kind of subjects, like what we're talking about today, emotional intelligence and emotional regulation, emotional resilience, stuff like that, I've always never understood the emotional reactivity in our culture. We're very, very reactive people. And so for me, when that became a hindrance in my life, I didn't want, and I was learning new strategies and new approaches, and I just wanted the same for my family. And so it started first as me talking to like all of my family, right? Because again, I'm the firstborn, so you're kind of like the guinea pig, right?
Yes.
So when I learned something, then I would bring it back home and, go, hey guys, have we ever thought of doing it this way? Have we ever thought of, maybe instead of yelling at each other or taking offense right away, maybe we can try to talk about it, get, each other's perspectives and see how we can move forward coherently without, trying to yell at each other and see who's right and see who, it's not disrespect to have a different perspective as our culture would like us to believe. If you have a different perspective from your parent, you're automatically disrespectful.
Right.
If you have a different opinion than your elder, you're automatically disrespectful. And that's not always the case. So it's like, I started to think, I'm like, okay, this is just habit. We're just operating from habit. How about we cut that habit and try something new and see if it works for our families? Maybe it might be beneficial. So that's how it started. And then her reaction actually is what has helped our relationship, be so strong and get to the point where it is now, because she was so open. And I was so thankful. Like I literally was praying to God about that. I was just like so thankful. I was just giving God praise. I was just like, I'm so thankful to have a mom that can listen to feedback.
Yes.
And because that's a big thing. If you are however old, you are used to your ways, it's not easy to just adapt a new way. So I was really thankful for her to be humble enough to, take in the feedback and adapt that. And so her reaction was very positive. And then she took that and related to my dad, and then the whole family is just, it's such a difference.
Wow.
Yeah, it was such a difference.
That is, well, I would say rare actually to a lot of African cultures, whereby people or a parent will actually listen to their child. Some of them, I think some of the parents will actually listen, but they'll pretend like they'll still like, get out of here, you're right. But behind the scene, they'll be like, they are right?
Yeah.
And so just having that like relationship whereby, because the fact that is like kids can see when a parent is pretending or like they can see through it. That is humbling just to hear your stories and how that shape you guys friendship and relationship as a family. So and then for you, Jane, like when you are growing up as a lady in the African culture, did you end any particular expectations? Because normally like the community has expectation for a girl and a boy child. Did you have any particular expectations, and do those by any way conflict with community expectations?
Oh yeah, I feel like my entire personality conflicted with the expectations of my culture.
Yes.
My entire personality. I've always been somebody that goes against the grain and somebody that didn't like to have rules. And maybe at times my rebellion took it too far to the point of like, not knowing the limit of when to navigate cultural expectations and community expectations. I rejected them so much that I went overboard. So expectations like a woman should have less to say, pretty much. It wasn't necessarily an expectation that was spoken, but it was kind of implied within the community. It's kind of just an implication that women should just go help out in the kitchen and, just very old school.
Yes.
And this is not just African community. It's even in this, on this side, on the Western side, they had that in the 50s, whatever. A lot of families had it, but it was just go in the kitchen, help out, and just be graceful, gracious. And the thing is, it's nice what they're saying in theory, like, okay, you should be a graceful person. I can agree with that, but it was with the expectation within the community, it was not something that was appreciated. It was just kind of like expected of you.
Expected, yeah.
And I don't really agree with something being expected of me, but not expected out of, let's say, the men, or let's say everybody else, like the elder. If an elder is going to treat me poorly, I don't believe I'm going to respond graciously, So I definitely disagreed with those expectations. I like that women are able to be kind of like the backbone and kind of nurturing and, yes, help out in the kitchen, but not as an expectation. It should be appreciated. It shouldn't just be, yeah, you should do that, or
right.
Yeah. And leaving no room for individuation. Is that the word?
Individualism?
Something like that.
So I don't. Yeah.
Where you can be an individual. If my personality doesn't necessarily align with the expectations, like give me a little grace there to see how I can, make it align with the expectations. Don't just tell me give me a box to be like this. So I didn't really agree with that, but
right.
Hopefully that answered your question.
No, it does. And that's kind of a in a way forces me to ask Milca, your mother, knowing that you have this child who is Jen, and in the setup of the African culture, just for lack of a good term, somebody could have considered her as rude, misbehaving,
and did.
Right.
And did. They did consider that.
So, and you being the mother, I don't know if you are the one who disciplines kids or your husband, but you being the mother since you're here, how did you handle that, and were you able to understand her and where she's coming from, and basically support her, and at the same time show her the direction so that she I don't know how best to say this, such a way that like you don't want to like suppress her emotions, but at the same time you want her to express herself, but also not balance the society expectations.
Tricky. Yeah, it's tricky. Yeah.
It's tricky, yes.
Yeah. From the culture shock or difference that I personally experienced coming from African culture to North American culture, the balance, at first it was a wrestle. It was a battle. I would say it was hard. It was hard for me, because I didn't put in mind that we are relocating to a different culture.
Yeah.
That I really want to to pin over there in this point for any mother, any parent who is listening, who is in North America or in a different culture that, different from where their own culture. Not having that awareness that you are deciding to relocate your family to another culture. That itself, I wish, going back then, I wish we had therapists who would sit us and really brush us, or like just open our mind and say, you know what? Yeah, sit here. Now you're going to enter a different chapter. So expectations are 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Get ready.
Absolutely.
Be prepared. We were not prepared. So coming here, of course, you were not prepared. You'll be hanging into your old self. So
like most immigrants. And you're too busy trying to acclimate and trying to make
living,
things work, make a living. You don't have time to
and so not having that awareness and knowledge of mental, what do you call, like
preparation?
And also emotional, what do you call, like you didn't know how to emotionally like practice the emotional support for your child, because you yourself don't even know, you're not aware. How can you cannot give something that you yourself don't have.
Right.
Yeah. In short, that's how I can describe, maybe in briefly.
That was great.
Yes.
So it was hard. It is. That's I'm being honest. It was hard, but I'm so grateful to God. Having God again. Going back. It's never too late to restore.
It really is not.
Yes, the relationship with your child. This, I really want to emphasize and just stress on this.
If you've made mistakes and have, maybe for me, I was viewed as a disrespectful child, not a child with like maybe emotions, or maybe with struggling with adapting to a new culture. And like my mom said, she didn't have the knowledge to understand that, maybe we need to talk about this. I mean, it's a whole different thing. Like, it's literally like neuroscience, science. It's not common sense. It's really not common sense. So if you've made that mistake in your relationship where you have maybe corrected your child on something that didn't need correcting but more support, and that has been the basis and the dynamic of your relationship, it's like she said, it's never too late. Like, even if you're in your 20s, and it's never too late. I encourage any parent, single mother, you name it. Like, please, it's never too late. It's not too late. Sit down with your child, even if you maybe it has been like maybe 10 years you're not speaking. It's never too late. Because what comes into play is the shame.
Yes.
Most parents, when they make that mistake, especially immigrant parents, when they make that mistake and they realize, because as soon as the longer you're in this culture, you see things are being done differently. And I don't mean the entire culture is like this. Like, there's a lot of families here that do things the African way as well, actually, believe it or not. But if you see the right way of how a different family is doing, or a different culture is doing it, or you're exposed to some new information that you didn't have before, the first thing that most people will feel is shame. They'll feel shame and regret, like, I can't believe I did that, or I have so much shame about it. You have to be very easy on yourself. It's not excusing the pain that your child might have been through. And, actually everybody's in pain, honestly.
Yeah.
It doesn't excuse the pain and the behavior, but it does explain it. And once you're knowledgeable and you have that knowledge on what could be done differently, don't just say, because a lot of things that people in our culture will just say, ayo ni mambo ya wazungu ndo wanafanyaga mambo kama hayo. Like, no, it's a human thing. We have to be supportive of each other's emotions. We have to be soft. And just because your child is crying about something and making a big deal out of it, namwona ni mtundu, anaweza kaa kweli anafikiria mambo yani ambayo anajisikia vibaya, usitake tu yani umezoea kumchapa na yani mtoto akiwa mkubwa au mchapi anymore, unamchapa na your reaction kama hauko there for them emotionally, bado hiyo ni kuchapa.
Ni kweli.
So lazima kama ufix au kama yani mwambie kama asijisikie hivyo, we create to any space environment ya kukaa naye tu, kusema naelewa unaweza unajisikia vibaya sasa hivi, hata kama hauelewi kweli, lakini mtu their feelings, anybody's feelings they're theirs. It's sio kama ni facts, it's just feelings. Na unaweza kukaa tu ku create your space, hata hug tu, can I give you a hug, how can I help you, quick questions like that. It's life changing. It changes the person's life, it changes the relationship, the dynamic, it changes everything. And how you teach that, the relationship you have with your child is the relationship you're going to have with your grandchild, is the relationship that your child's going to have with their child, and so on and so forth. So you could create so many generational wealth. This is also generational wealth by implementing that.
So I don't know if I might have missed a detail, but when did you guys move from Africa, Tanzania, to America?
You didn't miss it. I don't think we shared that.
Okay.
It was 2006.
All right. So it was a while ago. You're a lot younger. And yeah, I can see that. So you're kind of part of your life, you grew up in Africa, and then you know, the other part of the other life you grew up here.
Yeah.
So when you started talking to your mother about maybe the things that the blind spot that you mentioned, was it while you were in Africa, or it is when you guys moved to Canada?
I think it was both. But in Africa, obviously as a kid, I didn't share it very well.
Yes.
I remember you used to say like, definitely chapo as a kid. And I remember like you say that every time I was about to get chapo, I'd be like, is there any other way?
Yeah. She would be like, yeah. She was very, how do you say, inquisitive?
Yes.
Yeah. Like she'll question you before you spank her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is there no other way, to deal with this other than just chappering? She will ask you.
That's in
a very young
really
age.
Smart.
Yeah, in a very young age. Yeah.
I would even and then sometimes as a adolescent, I'm not gonna have the best emotional skills, and I'm not gonna have the best communication skills. So I did not. I was not respectful.
Mm-hmm.
I would just have an attitude because I'm rebelling to the process that is being used.
Yes.
So, rebelling, yelling or closing the doors, storming off, everything that an African parent would consider disrespectful. And so that's, again, when the culture shock comes. So for me, I'm seeing kids here having timeouts.
Yes.
I'm like, why don't we get a timeout? And so my mom doesn't even know the concept of a timeout. Mm-hmm. My dad was traveling a lot at the time. She's by herself. So like that's overwhelming. You don't even have the time. She's working too. You don't have the time to go and look, what do I do with my child? Like on Google,
Right.
You just resort to the habit that you're used to, what you were taught back home, And, people here do it too. They have spanked as well. So it's not that it's just Africans. People here have done it as well. And so those people as well, that's what their family did, right? So it's generational again.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's what you know what you were taught. But you don't have time to read a book. You're too busy surviving, trying to make a living. And then people at home are waiting for money.
Yes.
So you gotta send them money. Yes. There's no time to really read a book and see parenting tips or whatever. And now we have, we're at the age of social media. So you'll get like little short snippets of advice and tips and stuff like that, or book recommendations and they'll also demonstrate the behavior that you should do. So it's changed.
Yeah.
Definitely changed.
Milca, would you say that coming to the Western country like Canada or the US and seeing how the Westerners, the Canadians or the Americans are handling these issues with their babies, did that help you in any way kind of loosen up if there's anything you are holding tightly.
Definitely. Yes. Yeah, completely.
Mm.
I'm very grateful for that. To get again, use like my daughter, she has been the the pro for that, just if I was just depending on ChatGPT, I don't think I would have done well. But I think God intervened in our relationship
Mm.
to the point where, God used her. That's all I see, because I don't have any other, I didn't have any other source to depend on. And I was not even ready for other sources to depend, because I'm very private. So so I'm so grateful that today we are sitting here, we are helping hundreds, if not thousands of mothers and children who are God has intended for them to reunite and to rebuild their relationship. It's just use the resources that God is allowing in your life, to be honest. So yes, I'll say yeah, for sure.
I mean, to add to what you're saying, what we inherit as people is also our family's reactions. So sometimes we're reacting not of ourselves, but we're acting from the cultural perspective. So here not here, but there is a topic called emotional regulation. And it's a skill that you build up. It's not common sense, because we all have emotions. And the time when you're feeling frustrated, it's easier to say, like, for example, if I'm feeling frustrated with my 2 children, I'll say, I am feeling frustrated. And when I say that to them, they also feel frustrated at times. So I'm naming the emotion, so that lets them know the scope of emotions and how they look like. And then what I do with that emotion, they're learning how to also respond to that emotion as well. So growing up, we never really had these ranges of emotional responses. We just really had one, which was reaction. We would just react to emotions rather than, choose a response. And so when I started to practice emotional regulation, when I started to realize my emotions are mine and my responsibility, not anyone else's, that was what I was starting to talk to Mom about. And so with how she was responding to her emotions, I'm not going to speak for you. If you wanted to touch on that, because I think that's also what he was asking, is like how you are responding, your emotions as
I
to
think
how you
it's not there yet. He asked me if the culture here helped me with the emotion.
So be more flexible with But if you want to respond to what Jenny is saying, please go for it.
I think that's emotional regulations. After acquiring that knowledge, I started practicing, and and really, like, it's a choice as well. Like, you need to you started learning about having self-awareness as
all
well.
These different choices now. The choices broaden, because before that, what choices did you have, or what choices did you learn?
Or before the
knowledge,
the
skills.
It was more of like just reaction, like this, the same way she said, because you knew little, and the easy way out of the shortcut is whatever, without knowledge, is whatever emotions comes, you react to it. And
that's what you were taught.
I
mean, like, back at home, it's like ntakuchapa or wenenda wewe. Like, it's like just threats. There's no, you're not dealing with anything.
Right.
there's nothing being taught. It's just,
And I agree, because even I, it was kind of that, like, very reactionary, whereby something does something, you kind of just react, and it's like not even like thinking. And sometimes it's like, it's like more like very defensive. You are even not giving it a thought.
Yes.
And I have to say, like, it did land me in trouble here in America.
Yes. Yes.
And I think after that, I was like, this is not Africa.
Yeah.
Seriously.
And so it's a blessing actually being able to learn how to regulate those emotions, even while you're back in Africa. It helps like a lot.
It does.
Yeah. Because like there's aspect, you come to America and you're dealing with your colleagues, and most of them, they're not going to give you a second chance, as you know, like a brother or a sister or mother would do in Africa.
Yeah.
And so that is learning how to regulate those emotions. It goes a long way. Big time. Yeah.
And here it's not that they all know how to regulate their emotions. There's some people that don't, but they're in jail or they're fighting people, you know, they're not really doing good for themselves. Everybody needs to have the skills of regulating your emotions. You need to have the emotional intelligence. It's not just intellect that matters. It's also emotional intellect that also matters. And emotional resilience, that leads to emotional resilience, where you are able to handle what happens outside of you. If somebody says something to you, you're going to brush it off. You're not even going to have any emotions about it. But if you do have emotions about it, you know how to regulate them.
Yes.
When you know how to regulate your emotions, you're regulating your behavior. So it's very important.
Oh, it's important. Just give me a second. I'm picking, so I'm seeing the phone over there, so I want to lower it a little bit.
Oh, my phone?
No, it's my phone.
Oh, okay.
No, not yours.
Okay. Or it's like, you're just reacting, right? Like, we weren't, like, it's like we had all these expectations of a kid not, I think that where it starts is the expectations, right? The expectations of a kid. And it's to not, the kid should not talk as much. They should just do what's expected of them. A kid should just do what's expected of them. And that's fetching food, whatever. And if they're around adults, you know, being quiet and having good manners or good behavior. And those good behaviors and good manners are just not existing. It's just being there quiet,
right,
and waiting to be talked to. And usifanye fujo. And na hiyo fujo hata sio fujo. Ni kama tu yani you're being a child.
Yeah.
Na ni fujo tayari.
Experimenting and all of that.
Yeah.
So for you, don't you think that then emotional regulation should be taught, or something that people should just kind of pick up as they grow? It's
both.
Yeah.
Because again, we are what we know, and we are what we see. So in our families, just like how reactivity is taught, we react to any come up to our family, hey, wait, any reaction.
Yes.
Hamna ya pause na kuchoose, how do I respond here? Mtoto labda ana njaa, mtoto ana nini na nini. Yani hiyo ni choose a response. Lakini kuenda tu ni kureact hivyo, it doesn't make sense. There's no choice there. It's automatic.
Right.
So when parents do it, then the child learns, and that child passes it on, and that the other child you pass it on to generation after generation. Like when it's taught, it gives people a chance who are not taught it to be exposed to that knowledge. Because as soon as you know something, that's it. You're gonna follow through with it.
No, I agree, and it's and especially it sounds like, you know, you knew your rights kind of early on, and in one way you kind of expressing by asking, is there other better ways of, you know, responding to this? That's like, you know, maturity to a whole different level that I wish I had. But at the same time, I feel like if I were to ask that, to my mother, it would have been worse.
Extra chapa.
So it's tricky, and just glad that you had a mother who could been willing and open to hearing you out. I know some in a lot of families, there's tends to be like a friction between a daughter and a mother. And I don't know if it's where it normally comes from, but is that something you guys experience in a way? Or I've seen people going through that. And what would you maybe advise people who may be going through daughter-mother conflict?
Yeah, I think maybe I'll say just briefly, and then let Ben also pitch in that. I think with I mean, I haven't studied psychology or biological, like, there's some chemistry that relates, between female and female, I guess, like versus female and male, right?
Yes.
Those who know whatever the science, you understand.
Fill in the blanks.
You can fill the blanks,
Yes.
So that I think usually starts from there. So, which is natural. But the natural sometimes, like if you don't know how to handle the nature, by again knowing how to regulate your emotions and all that, because as women we're emotional beings,
We're very hormonal.
right? Yeah, very hormonal.
Yeah.
So, and that's where the issue is. So if you're not, you don't have that self-awareness. First of all, like we need to have the self-awareness.
Yes.
Okay, at this time, of a month, where am I? And then just sit back and just revisit first before projecting. Or before reacting. So I think
That's self-awareness.
yeah, we need to have that self-awareness. That by itself will help us to avoid a lot of conflict.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That are really unneeded.
Yeah.
That's what I can say. Do you want to add some?
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback off of what you said. As women, we are very hormonal. We are emotional. And it's no coincidence that with men, it's different. I mean, men will have conflict or disagreements and you guys will be over it for the next hour.
Real quick, yes.
Because you guys don't have that. I'm not saying that men they don't have emotions. You guys do, but there is, like you said, I don't know the science, but there is something there about hormones that men don't quite have similar to women.
Yeah.
So with us, just like when you, let's say, you're angry and you go to somebody and this one person is not letting your anger affect them. So you're just yelling at them, and they're just looking at you, or you feel that way. If you're up here, you're gonna come down here. That's how men are. Men are already down here. So when women are up here and you go to somebody else and you're yelling at them and then they start yelling at you, you're gonna just keep escalating.
Yeah.
So that's the analogy I would give with how women are, is that we meet each other there. We're both hormonal.
Yeah.
And so we're both emotional. And so nothing is being resolved. We're just emotion to emotion. And then because emotions are so fast and they're so overwhelming,
it explodes.
And then when it comes to neurological perspectives, I don't know much about it, but I know that the part of the brain that is responsible for responding to emotions, when that is triggered, the part of the brain that is dealing with logic is completely shut off. It's like it's overridden by the emotional part. And emotions are very they're very overwhelming. So everybody can relate to that. When you're feeling emotions versus when you're having a thought, they're overwhelming. They completely take over. So I would say in our relationship, to answer your question, we have had direct experience with us disagreeing in our relationship and having conflict, of course. And I've also seen it. What was your question again?
If there's what would you
advice?
Advice, yes.
The advice would be, this is the biggest advice that has worked for me. The biggest tip is I keep my mouth shut and I take a moment. Keep my mouth shut and take a minute. Even if you have to just say, even if you think, because sometimes your thoughts are telling you, if I tell somebody like I'm going to take a minute, they're going to think I'm weird. If I tell somebody or weak.
Yeah.
No, it's not weak. Actually, when you admit, it's a strength. When you admit
wisdom.
It's wisdom. Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
When you admit, I am feeling emotional right now. I need to take a minute.
Yeah.
And you go and actually take a minute. You don't wait to get permission.
Mm-mm.
You don't take permission. You just, I need a minute. And you go tend to yourself.
Yeah, you dismiss yourself.
You dismiss yourself and you go and do what you need to do, because again, your emotions are your responsibility. They're not anyone else's.
Yeah.
So you go and take care of what you need to take care of. Go get a fresh, breath of fresh air. Breathe until you see that only you know what's going on inside of you. Nobody else is going to know. So if you have you've calmed down, come back inside and join, the conversation, and just explain, quickly, I just needed a moment. I was getting emotional.
Right.
And then revisit the conversation and go from there. That is the biggest advice I would give. And then another thing is, if you see somebody else that you're conversating with is emotional and they have high emotions going, you don't have to put up with that. You don't have to sit there and just let them scream at you or
just disengage.
Yes, you don't have to fix. That's another thing.
Yeah.
You don't have to fix somebody else's emotions.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody's having emotions, it's not disrespectful to walk away and say, we can revisit this conversation at a later time, when emotions are not so high. You don't have to accuse the person. You don't have to say you're emotional, but we can revisit this conversations when emotions are not so high. And dismiss yourself. It's not just disrespectful. You can come back and later, and if they viewed it as disrespectful, you can clarify, I was not meaning to be disrespectful. I just saw that it would be fit if we talked at a later time when we can have a civil conversation. Those are the skills for that are emotional regulation skills, and also communication skills, and also conflict resolution skills. These are skills that everybody needs to know and everybody needs to practice, especially at an African household.
Yes. Sometimes, maybe if you have something to add, but sometimes I guess there are times when sometimes as a family whereby people, even though they know they need to have emotional regulation, they choose not to, because it's my sister, it's my brother.
Mm-hmm.
I think it happens a lot. It happened to my family.
Yes, absolutely.
Do you have anything to add on what she said?
No, I think she said it all.
Yes.
And what you're saying is actually a force of habit, right? It's just habitual.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean that it's right.
No, it doesn't mean it's right.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't mean it's right. And I think even within family setup, sometimes it's like you have to put your foot down sometimes, actually, for people to listen and to respect those boundaries.
Yeah.
Unlike if it was a neighbor or a colleague, they'll probably, respond a lot quicker.
Yes.
So,
and it's all about communication. One, you have to have the intention.
Yes.
When you're being emotionally reactive, you're not being intentional. If your intention is to resolve, if your intention is to not have drama, if your intention is to have a good relationship that is not fake, but also because a good relationship doesn't mean that you just suppress all your emotions. If those are your intentions, these are the natural responses to conflict. You're gonna need those communication skills, because people will think that you're being disrespectful, but you don't need to avoid people thinking that you're being disrespectful. Don't avoid it. You have to expect that people will think you're being disrespectful. And if they think you're being disrespectful, don't take it personally. That's the emotional regulation, not taking it personally. You just communicate, I was not being disrespectful, to give them clarity. Again, if they are still hung up on being right and they say, no, you were being, now they're trying to argue with you about how your intention was. They don't know what's in your head, but they're just wanting to argue with you and tell you that you are being disrespectful, which is common in our culture. That's why I'm saying this, disrespectful. People like to hide behind respect a lot. So if they're saying you're being disrespectful and they're wanting to argue, let them have that. Okay, if that's what you think, but I really don't want you to think that. That's not what I meant. It's just a conversation. But again, it's a conversation where you can see my tone is quiet. I'm talking to you civilly. There's no emotions there. There's no emotional reactivity. It's always about emotional reactivity. Have the communication skills and have the emotional regulation skills, and then you will resolve the conflict. And if there's no resolution, let it go. Because the other person doesn't want to, what can you do?
That's true.
You can't fix it.
There's something that you mentioned, Jen, earlier about generational wealth. When you raise kids and they're learning from you on how to regulate their emotions. And for a lot of people, either they're in Africa or they immigrated here to United States, one may have been raised up in a particular way, in a reaction way. And at least from what I heard is, if that continues, is only transferred to the next generation, to continue transferring.
Yeah.
And so if we can look at this as an opportunity to say, you know what, I am about to change the course of this, how we view things for the rest of the generation. What a privilege it is.
It's such a privilege. It's incredible.
Yes.
Because it also directly interferes with how your child is going to be in relationships as well, romantic or friendships, you know, platonic. How you're directly affecting your child's either their success with a marriage or not. Really, you really are, and that is also generational wealth, because if they're successfully married, they will produce children. So, you know, it just continues. It really is generational wealth.
Yes, yes. Speaking about kind of just family in general and those conflicts that you know arise because of the different scenarios. Is there a particular time you as individual you felt not understood by each other, and how did that make you feel? And is there I know you guys are laughing, so maybe there's something that I'm excited. I always follow up with a second question, because it's an opportunity for somebody to learn, because we never know who will listen to this. When you felt misunderstood, how you responded, in a way, were you proud of it? And how would you advise people to respond?
I'll let you. No, I'll let you.
I'll let you do it.
Because I've spoken to you a lot about how I've felt misunderstood, but I feel like you haven't, I feel like you need to touch on that as well.
Okay, so maybe just to clarify that question, you mean like in a family, like as mother and daughter, or
yes,
or like in general?
I would say in this scenario, let's say mother to daughter, daughter to mother.
Yeah. First of all, like I feel like have our personalities sometimes interfere if we are not careful to sit back and like if we are not careful to sit back and ignore the ego in us and revisit whatever situation. It's so easy to lash out and just to go by the moment, the moment how you're feeling at that moment. You will just go, and before you know it, if you didn't sit back and revisit and really think about before you speak,
yes,
you'll end up misunderstanding each other. And and most of the time, as she said, I think it's very vital for these two parties to revisit and decide to do a proper communication. Yeah, because the experience that I can say is that most families, we find ourselves bumping our heads just because we were not careful. Sit back, and examine our personalities first versus the situation. And there is so much, I think I don't know, like, but it's so much in a package to deal with at that particular situation.
Yes.
So, yeah, I would say, like we have different personality. Like, for example, my personality is different from Jen. So she is my daughter, right?
Yes.
So I used to be a people's pleaser, and but it's not always a good thing. Yeah, but she is not, right?
No, she is not. I can tell.
She's not. So sometimes in a situation, depending on the situation, you may be better off to deal with certain situation and not, of course, and she may be misunderstood, but that misunderstanding or like somebody else misunderstanding her, it doesn't mean that it is right. That person is right. It's just because she's direct doesn't mean that, there's something wrong there.
Right.
Does it make sense?
It does. But I think if you can give some more context, like,
yeah,
in our experience, how have you felt misunderstood? Like, you were talking especially about personality.
Yeah. So with me, I would say, like, specifically, I would. I'm trying to remember if I have like a specific incident, but in general, I'll be misunderstood because I, being a people's pleaser, sometimes you want to balance those two to be direct. At the same time, you want to maintain that pleasing somebody else. In the middle there, sometimes you may be misunderstood just because.
Yes.
I guess it's not your personality.
Right.
I don't know if I answered well. Maybe you can fill the blank.
I have misunderstood you. I feel like, from my perspective, I don't know how you have felt misunderstood, but from my perspective, I feel like I have misunderstood you as somebody who didn't care at some points. And maybe that could have been from you wanting to please, so you just don't even touch on the subject, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, if something like there's conflict and you don't touch on it, I'll think that you just don't care, but really you're just trying to avoid maybe conflict.
Yeah. I would say, like, avoiding conflict, because it could be like at that time, as women, we go through a lot in, emotionally, mentally. We don't like, we are expressive, but most of the time, sometimes we are expressive at the wrong time.
Yes.
With the wrong people, and and you accumulate some stuff in you to the point where, like, sometimes, like, with your family, you just want to disengage.
Yeah.
When they needed you the most.
I have an example. Okay, so for me, when conflict happens, I have to talk about it.
Yes.
Because if I don't, it's just going to bother me.
Yes.
And I need to understand where somebody is coming from. I need it to be talked about right then and there. And so with you weren't like that, right? Like, you're more.
No. So with me, with my experience is that because being a people's pleaser and a leader, because I'm a leader in the church. You deal with community. It's not a family. It's not just my own. So sometimes it can be a lot, and to the point where, as leaders, sometimes you swallow some other people's pain and or situations. Just because you're a leader, you need to toughen up. So sometimes, like, when I try to be direct or honest with maybe one small thing, I may be misunderstood just because I'm direct.
And also, what I'm hearing is
not.
I'm also hearing like even the moments that you're misunderstood, you would choose to suffer instead of maybe actually speaking out what the issue is, just to avoid maybe a conflict.
Avoid a conflict.
And part of it could be due to the ministry, your ministry.
Yes, exactly.
That,
and that's why sometimes, like, leaders in leading ministry, sometimes we it's you need to be careful with your words, because the Bible says your word can build or break. So there are a lot to balance. A lot of times, most of the time, if you slip with your words because you are a person whom a lot of people, not only your family, they look up to you. So you are put in a situation where you really need to be careful with your words, choosing your words carefully, wisely. There are situations where you feel like this, I can be just direct and say at it as it is. It will take somebody else out of the church.
Yeah.
But that doesn't apply in our relationship though. Because in that context and in with the church, yes, I could see that. But it doesn't apply in our relationship. And that has never been a hindrance. Like your speech, like being careful of your speech has not been a hindrance in our relationship. So like I feel like I had misunderstood you because maybe, I mean, I could see how the people pleasing may have been relevant. Like you wanted to make, like you didn't want to make me, and I'm also like, so growing up, I was very reactive myself. So I used to have like, if I'm angry at something, if somebody is like making me upset, like I would be very reactive. And at times I was actually very nasty.
Yes.
With my words and like just with my attitude and my actions, like I'd start yelling or I would start just not being nice or kind. I was very, very reckless with my words. And so I wouldn't bring peace if something is going wrong.
Yeah.
I would bring conflict. But that was also me trying to resolve the conflict. That's funny enough because I'm like, this is happening. Like, let's get to the bottom of it so it can be gone, right? But I never understood why you didn't want to get to the bottom of it. So that's what I think I misunderstood you there. Did you not want to get to the bottom of it, or what was behind that?
Could be. I think could be both, maybe. Yeah, trying to avoid the conflict.
The conflict,
because you're thinking, as a mother, usually you're expected to bring peace because you're the backbone of the family. So sometimes that's why I said you just swallow the pain, or
maybe lacking the skills.
In that as well,
the skills, the emotional regulation skills and conflict resolution skills.
Right, exactly.
Because you like you said that when you grew up, she had told me this at a different conversation. You said you didn't see conflict being resolved. And like I said, like we all know we are what we see. So if you see that this conflict is not, if that's all you saw was conflict not being resolved, that's what you're going to expect is conflict not being resolved. And then if you think conflict is here and it's not going to get resolved, there's no point. And she doesn't want it. So, okay, that would make more sense.
Yeah.
And, part of also what she said, I have hopefully he doesn't watch this show, but I have a friend who is a teacher. And I had a privilege of working in this kind of the same environment, and I kind of just saw how, how he deals with the kids. And I was like, it makes a lot of sense. Sometimes this friend can sometimes kind of been talking to me like I'm a student. Right? And so I can see that actually like what like we experience in our daily life, especially when we spend a lot of our time either in a job, that following us home.
Yeah.
And sometimes if we are home, maybe we know that it's so easy to bring how we do things at home, bring them to work. And so we want to kind of push whatever the genuine experience at home just for the protection of the image at work.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that, in one way or another, you'll be a victim of it, right? As a child or as a friend for me, in one way or another, that will be a victim. I'm assuming I'm saying like victim is kind of a strong term, but I really don't mean it to sound that bad. Yeah, but you guys
be subjected to
yeah. So
for sure.
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
Thanks, guys, for being open to that.
Yeah. They're very important, topics to have, especially in our community.
Yes. Yes. And these things happen to every community and
every single family.
Every single family.
Issues that happen and will continue to happen in every single family.
And so with that, that was a little bit emotional. And I think it was, I could sense the genuineness and a bit. And I can see your character coming out. It's like pushing, okay, you did it, so that's good. And next question here would be, so how has your friendship changed over time? Has it gotten better, worse, kind of about the same? Please.
I've gotten best.
Yes.
If that's the
like
the
a
best
million
English.
times.
So you guys have become closer and closer. Yeah.
I
We are
see her for who she is now.
We're very close.
Yeah. We have gotten very close. We understand each other a lot more. And I think being a mom too helped me understand her so much more. The second I became a mom, I was like, oh, she wasn't just screaming for no reason. Like, she had so much on her plate. Okay. And I'm like, at times I had repeated the same scenarios where I'm just, as much of this head knowledge I have,
yes,
I would still also be reactive in certain points because, the situation was overwhelming. And I'm like, because I'm a stay-at-home mom. So when my husband is at work, then I'm at home.
Yes.
And so I'm the only person there. And he, keep in mind, he comes home same day. My dad would come home on the weekends. So she's at home with 3 kids by herself. And I believe you were working too, right? So like I would literally go crazy.
Yes.
I would go crazy. And so the fact that like all these beliefs that I had as a kid, because again, as a kid, you see things differently. You're like, I just want to play, and like, why can't I break this thing?
Yes.
And your mom is like, I am dealing with so much. Like, why are you trying to make a mess? So with her mind, like as a parent, your mind is logical at this point. Your kid's brain is still developing. You don't really have, you're not aware of like, okay, you don't go, oh, my kid's brain is still developing. Let me take a step back.
Right.
You're just reacting to the scenario. So given that I had the knowledge that I have and I can still react that way, and then she didn't have the knowledge that she had, and in a more high pressure situation, I told her myself, I was like, I wouldn't have done anything different.
Yes.
I was like, actually, I probably would have like ran away to the room for days and like hidden. Yes. So our relationship has gotten so much better because I became a mom. I understood her perspective more. Because sometimes as people, we don't understand each other's perspectives until you actually are in that perspective. And so there's nothing better than to help you understand somebody, where somebody's coming from, than being in that direct experience that they were in. So that helped a lot. And then as well as her feedback, her being open to feedback, that helped tremendously. Like she was eager to learn new things. And she was like, yeah. And then when I would talk about, guys, like, we can do this better in our family, she'd be like, yeah, guys, let's do this better. Like we can do it, just her attitude, not kind of like, get out of here with your stuff. Like, I'm too busy, or,
right.
Here she goes again. Her attitude was great, and she was open to feedback. Like she was not closed. And then her, when she was open to that feedback, she also implemented new ways of thinking. So she literally changed as a person.
Yes.
And so as no one likes to change, right? We always like to be certain.
Yeah.
We like to be who we are. Nobody likes change. So the fact that she had like the courage to do that and the willingness, it was such a blessing in our family. So that made our relationship so much better. She became somebody that I would feel comfortable talking to, not only comfortable, but I would want to talk to her. So then we were in good communication. We had that bond. We had that connection. Because before that, it's like, as an African mom, you're just thinking your only role is to like just be a mom that disciplines. Like you don't think of a mom who's a friend. You don't think of a mom who's a confidant. Yeah. Because you're thinking as African parents, we have something to live up to, like an expectation of our kids can't just be. You can't be your kid's friend. And of course, it's a difficult line to balance, because you can't be your child's friend. You have to be their parent. Yeah. But also sometimes you have to be their friend. Yes. Our relationship has been amazing.
Would you say the same?
Oh yeah.
Milca?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Million times.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
It's amazing because I was at church during once we finished worshiping. I went to the other room where normally parents would take their kids to play, and I met a brother there. Was holding his second baby, and we were having a conversation. I asked him, "Hey, having kids, how did it change you?" And he said exactly the same thing. He said, "Man, kids will make you appreciate your parents more."
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yes. I think when I first became a parent, I think I apologized to her like I don't know how many times. I was like, I'm so sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry.
Yes. Yeah, it's like those things that you wish like you understood when you were that young, but just good thing our parents can be very gracious and
Yes,
just people realizing that and kind of also like being humble enough to say, man, I took you through this. I'm so
Yes,
sorry.
yeah.
It also takes courage and
Yeah.
humility to be able to do that.
For sure.
Yeah.
Biggest advice I'd give you guys if you're listening to this, if you've gotten this far, is remember your parents. That it's remember this about your parents. It's their first time living. Remember that, and then this doesn't excuse behavior, but remember it's their first time living. And then second, you don't have to put up with anything you don't want to put up with, but have strong communication skills to say, let's talk about this later. Not as permission, to say that because you deserve to be treated with respect and with kindness. And then walk away, but obviously come back and revisit it and clarify that you weren't meaning to just dismiss your parents, to be disrespectful. But as you're doing that too, sometimes we shouldn't have the expectations that a parent should do it first. Sometimes we can do it first and then bring it back to them, and then they will follow through as well. And then as they're following, they will also, as people, we have to have relationship. A relationship is a two-way thing. So as you're bringing something to them and they accept it, they're receptive eventually, maybe not, I don't know, but if they're receptive, then they can bring something, beneficial to you as well. And it's a reciprocal thing, give and take.
Just from out of this conversation that we are having, I'm learning that there were moments, you Milca is a mother and you Jen as a daughter, there were moments, and maybe it wasn't just one time, but periodically whereby you had to unlearn a lot of things and relearn, basically adopt new behaviors, new way of handling things. And it sounds like from what I'm getting from you is this process, no matter how tough it might be and how uncomfortable it might be, the results are always good. It's always like to the right direction.
Right,
yeah.
What you mentioned is actually the definition of growth. We learn, we live and we learn. So if you learn something new, of course you have to shed what wasn't working and grow.
Yes.
Growth would never disappoint. Never.
I agree. And then in the same way, like these things we just talked about, there's an element of forgiveness. How has forgiveness played a role in this relationship between mother and her daughter? Let's start with Milca.
With me, okay,
yes.
Yeah. Forgiveness needs or requires humility. Again, as I said, with what my daughter already said as well, realizing that we are all human. No, regardless of me being a mother, she's a daughter.
Yeah,
but we are all human. We are both human. So realizing that we're human, that's one realization right there. So human will do mistakes. As long as you're willing to learn and to allow humility in you, forgiveness, it will be easy. If you shade you put your ego aside, and wanting to learn. You want you want the new you because you see the benefit. Then you'll be willing to change.
Yeah.
And forgiveness, it will be like given that, oh, you know what? Because the realization of old you and the new you that you want to be.
Yes.
That will definitely bring you to realization of having settled things, the matters, and apologize to each other. It will be easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I second that 100%. Humility.
Yeah.
It's the opposite of pride.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's very beneficial. It's needed. It's very much needed.
That's good. And would you say, would you say like, when it comes to forgiveness, somebody obviously has to admit someone they had a mistake, right?
Yeah.
Part of that kind of takes swallowing some pride in,
Yeah.
A pride as a mother, a pride as a daughter, right?
That's the tough part.
Yes, but it does get easier, right? The more you practice it. And encouragement just for anybody to, to be able to practice forgiveness, and obviously seeking admitting that you are wrong, because it starts from there.
Yes.
Would you say that, Jen?
100%. I agree with you on that. And it's very hard, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yes.
And with me, to add on that, as Christians as well, because we are all Christians.
Yes.
It's easy to say, just, the first thing to practice the forgiveness is through the family. That will be the easy and the fast soil to practice on, to cultivate, from the soil of the family before you go outside. Because it is not easy, and even some of us, we are leaders, we go to church, we sing, I'm sorry, Lord, for the things I've made. It's all about you. It's all about you, Jesus. We get off the altar. We go back to the same. Our pride and
saying
everything.
I'm sorry.
No,
Right.
You just saying there, and then, do you mean it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
It's easy.
Yeah.
To say that I'm done.
100%.
100%.
So
practicing.
real.
Yeah.
We have to practice. Yeah. And we really, just like you said, Asika, practicing is what makes it easier.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because a lot of times you don't really want to. The flesh doesn't want to.
The flesh doesn't.
No.
Will not allow you.
No.
And then it's, about forgiveness, love is a part of the Christian virtues.
Yes.
How has love, played a role in, as a mother and as a daughter, to realize, to extend that love, to extend that forgiveness, even in the moment when the other person doesn't necessarily deserve it. Also, even in the moment when you are emotionally charged,
Yeah. I would say, maybe I can start, like with me, forgiveness, as much as how, even when I was a teenager, growing up, it was so hard. Like just thinking about, as soon as I tell somebody, please forgive me.
Yeah.
Like there's this anger in me. Why did I say that? Like why? That ego. That ego.
Yeah.
And the enemy uses that so much to keep us with that pride.
Yes. Yes.
So growing up and getting to know the Lord more, that humility grew in me.
Yes.
To the point where I would, even when I don't feel like doing it, but I suppress my flesh and and my soul. I tell my mind, you have to do this.
Yes.
Do it as unto the Lord. Even sometimes when it's hard,
yes,
you are dealing with your enemy. Let's say, for example, who would want to apologize to the enemy?
Exactly.
Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Nobody, yeah.
No
You
one.
know?
Yeah.
But guess what? That is how the Lord Jesus wants you to do
Mm,
at that particular time.
that's right.
Where, like, your mind and your flesh is like agitated when you know that this person has wronged you.
Yes.
Guess what? Jesus wants you to go and make it right with that person. That's the key right there.
Mm,
So as I continued to grow in the faith,
mm,
the Holy Spirit was helping me to say there's so much to it. There's so much than just thinking, about the ego. There's so much into it. This is very spiritual.
Yes.
Forgiveness is very spiritual.
very spiritual, yeah.
Yeah. You're not just doing just for you, but you are building the body of Christ, and you are doing as unto God.
Yes. Yeah.
God, the Bible talks about humility, right? Reject pride versus humility. So God wants us to be humble because He's not pleased with pride.
Yes.
So where do you practice that if you are rejecting the forgiveness? No. So to me, I learned to do it as unto God.
Yes.
If I love my Lord, if I love Jesus, then I should walk and be somebody and just be a doer.
Yes.
The Bible says to be a doer of the word and not hearers only. It's easy to hear and you pass. But doing it,
yes,
it's hard.
It's hard, yeah.
Yeah.
Different story.
Yeah. So forgiveness, it's a must. Yeah, it's a must.
And Jen, what would you say, and especially when it comes to love, even the moment when you don't feel like loving?
The biggest one for me when it comes to that has been to be selfless, to choose to be selfless. Because selfishly, even in the beginning when I was bringing this information back to my family, it was selfishly so that I can love them more the way I want them to be.
Yes.
And so it got to a point where the best thing, I think it was just God leading me into this, but the best thing was to let go of my expectations and to love them where they are.
Yes.
Because they've loved me where I am. And it's just about, and that's just love,
I agree. Yeah. Even moments when you don't feel like extending it.
Yeah.
And especially, in case of a family when it's kind of, expected. You gotta love me, even when people are the most unknown, right? Still being able to find that. But I love what you said is, it becomes now a whole different thing if you're a believer.
Yes.
You don't only just become hearers, but you become doers. And so even if it's your enemy, and I don't know if there are families that go to an extent whereby they become enemy with either daughter to the mother or mother to the daughter.
It gets there.
It does?
Oh, people, yeah. People have gotten there.
That's
You see it
pretty bad.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Because you hear like a lot of families, we haven't been talking for years.
Yeah.
For 5 years.
Yes.
Do you talk to your enemy? No. So then you have made that.
Yes, to be an enemy. Yes. Yeah.
And most of the time it's just pride and miscommunication.
It's
It
pride.
is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And selfishness.
And selfishness, yeah.
Because people will disappoint you. People will make mistakes. People will wrong you. That's not a maybe. That is a for sure.
Yes.
We all do that to each other.
Yeah.
And we just have to forgive, like you're saying.
Exactly. Yeah.
And love each other.
And also, I think that, even for believers, knowing that, because also like a sister or brother in Christ can wrong you, right?
Yeah.
I think one of the things that has helped me is just knowing that people are just humans, right? People are not gods, right? People will fall short. And so just having the expectation that this brother this sister, at one point, they'll trip me, right? It's just a matter of me to understand, look, maybe they just have a bad day. Not that like to say that I'll just kind of forget about it. I can always express it to them, but in a way that is, is a way of love, in a way that I don't leave them, kind of more in a worse place. Because then doesn't help at all. But also that doesn't justify me not just keeping quiet. Because also maybe they were doing something, it's not intentional, but I'm frustrated. And if I don't say it because I love them, then I'm loving them the wrong way because they'll keep doing it.
Yeah.
Right?
And then you're not loving yourself.
And I'm not loving, myself.
Very true.
Yes. Just even that little part of just love. You as a mother, Milca, were there moments that out of love for your kids, you sacrificed your pleasure, or you sacrificed a lot of yourself, or loving yourself or I guess to your children, in the expense of yourself? And I'm pretty sure there are so many moments, because those are just what mothers are. But is there one particular time that you remember, and how have you maybe adjusted in that such a way that you extend the love to your kids that you love, but also kind of knowing to love yourself? If that makes sense.
Yeah, I think if I'm following you well. There's so many incidents where, one of them, it will be like, as Jen was saying, it was hard for me, being a mother, work, and do all, make sure, kids' homework, schools programs are being, done, and everything, you name it. You're being a wife, you're being a mother, you're being a tutor, you're like everything, all those hats. And what, like, you are left with no time for yourself.
Yes.
Obviously, because we only have the 24 hours, in a day.
Yeah.
So I didn't know how to have the self-care for myself. So I would say, yeah, so I had to sacrifice as much as I wanted to have at least a moment of, most of mothers sometimes, don't think, we work some shifts that we always want to. Sometimes we just want, some other mothers, they just want to have their moment, their time alone as well, away from the kids as well, so that they can just breathe. Not that they don't love their kids, but it becomes so much where if you don't have those moments of disengaging, or I don't know how to say, you will explode, or so that's where other people generate other illnesses and stuff like that, because you don't know how to do self-care. You go. So I decided to let go of some shifts so that I can attend my kids, regardless of having less income. But I had to, because of the love of my family, of my children, because my husband will be like traveling like most of the week. Then that is a sacrifice. Other mother will say, no. I will, they will prefer work and have the independency,
the break
more, and the break, versus the kids having, the kids 24/7. So to me, that is selfless, and the love that I could. That's one aspect.
And for you, Jen, just growing up and early on in your life, kind of knowing or being enlightened, to the different aspect, and maybe how a perspective, even how to raise kids has to change. Like even for example, you give it a way of punishment. Hey, is there another way instead of just spanking, right? How, now that you're a mother, how have you been able to express your love to your kids in a way that you are loving them, and now that you already have that knowledge of, listening to them, or like kind of using different variety of method to discipline them. How have you been able to regulate between loving them and loving yourself, especially if you can speak to young mothers?
Yeah, for me, I would say it's a balancing act. You have to balance how much you give yourself to your kids and how much time you give to your kids and how much time you give to yourself. How much time you give to your kids and husband, and then how much time you give to yourself. You have to have some time for yourself to fill your cup back up so that you can have something to pour from. And then also another thing that is big for me is self-compassion, because you cannot expect compassion from anybody else. Only you know what you're dealing with, and only you know what you're battling. So for me, it's been to give myself compassion when I'm beating myself up for, let's say, an example that I battle with a lot is when I'm with my kids right now at the age that they're at, which is 4 and almost 2. It's a tough age because their brains are still so underdeveloped, yet they have such strong wills. And most of the things that they want to do doesn't make sense. And it's disruptive, chaotic. And they also don't want to listen to you at all. Even if you're bringing logic, understanding, whatever it is, they don't want to listen. So that has been the toughest thing for me to deal with, because I'll be disciplining them, saying, hey, no, no to that, no to this. And I'll have to sometimes give timeouts. And so then I'll get guilt. I'll get feelings of guilt, like I have given too much disciplining today and not enough one-on-one time, or too much this. And then so I'll start thinking and questioning if I'm a good mom, or if I'm doing enough. Even if I am doing enough, those thoughts will still come. And all mothers could relate to that, they call it mom guilt. There's not a single mom out there. Well, I don't know. Some moms don't have it. But that's a whole other thing about pathology. But it's just giving myself compassion, saying, Jen, you are doing the best that you can. Obviously, having the self-awareness to know if I am doing too much disciplining, to balance it out with, some more spending time with them, or more praises, praising them for the good things that they're doing. So it's always a balancing act, but to give myself compassion, to not be so hard on myself, because the brain likes to be critical in order to get you to be productive. But I also have found being compassionate and telling myself I am doing the best that I can is also another way to be productive. Because just like if you have a boss who's just telling you all the time, like, hey, you're doing this bad, you're not going to want to please them. You're going to lose the motivation. But if you have a boss who's encouraging you and saying, you're doing a great job, maybe you can do this different next time, and this, it's very different talk than, oh, you're a bad mom, or this and this and that. So self-compassion has been something that I have been using as a tool to balance loving my children and loving myself.
Yes. That's awesome. That's a good response. And I think a lot of young mothers will benefit from this. So this question, Milca, you answered this one. Like, what advice would you give African mothers raising daughters today? And after that, Jen, it will be, what advice would you give to African daughters navigating identity and emotions? Because we are coming towards wrapping up. And so let's start with you, Milca.
Yeah, thank you. The advice that I will give to mothers is to do what it takes to maintain, restore, recreate, or like just build good relationship with your children. Yes, it's like do like whatever it takes. And the one thing that will help you easily is to trust the Lord and not to lean on your own understanding.
Amen.
That is the key.
Yes.
That is the key. We can do nothing without the wisdom of God. The wisdom that we can we can get as mothers, because we carry a lot.
Yes.
We cannot do it on our own.
No, we cannot.
We cannot. So having Jesus, having the Holy Spirit with us, it will make the task more bearable, because we carry a lot. So my advice will be like, have Holy Spirit with you, carry Jesus with you, and God being the head and Father, take them all three and walk in humility and do all it takes to have that good relationship with your children.
Amen.
And in doing that, if you do all that, then you will have a good family.
Wow.
I think that's, I can wrap it.
Amen to that,
I
yeah.
love that.
Yeah, I love that as well.
I agree with that. I second that, what Mom said about keeping God first. Yes, keep God first always, because like she said, we cannot do this on our own at all. We need God's help for sure, especially young moms. Actually, all moms, young, old, whatever. You need God as the center of your strength, as your wisdom, to give you understanding, just all of it. Lean to God more than you lean into yourself or others or anything else. I definitely agree with that. And then second for me, when it comes to identity and emotions, the advice I would give is, one, know yourself, because identity doesn't come from outside of you. Identity comes from you and what you choose to identify with. You always choose it. People may say anything about you, but it's your choice to believe them or not, because what you believe about yourself is what you go off of. You don't go off of other people. You choose. So choose who you are and act according to your values and beliefs. Don't let other people choose your identity for you. You choose, and always know who you are and stick to knowing who you are. Never let anyone outside of you, doesn't matter who it is, doesn't matter if it's a parent, a wife, a husband, whoever. I mean, a wife if you're a husband. It doesn't matter who it is outside of you. Your siblings, friends, nobody gets to choose your identity for you. Only you do. I would say that is the biggest advice I would give. And then again, to emotion about identity. And then with emotions, I would say, it also goes with identity. Know your emotions, know what you're feeling. If you can name it, then you know how to respond to it. You know how to navigate it. If you don't know, it's going to overpower you and it's going to control you. Know your emotions. And then also remember that it's your responsibility to regulate your emotions. Your emotions are yours. And regulate them and express them as well. You can express them civilly. You can express them calmly. They don't need to be expressed as raw as they come. That is the biggest advice I would give.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that. Those are like really good insights. And just from from this conversation and your experiences, how can families begin to to build kind of healthier, I guess, environment, especially when it comes to emotional building like emotional intelligence, I guess, within family, just for better understanding and all that. Where if a family was struggling with that kind of a thing, maybe lack of communication or whatever, where can they start? How can they move from having constant conflict to knowing better ways of handling conflict? And let's even think about in a context whereby it could be in African setup whereby assuming the worst case scenario where parents don't really give enough room for the kids to express themselves. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's actually was going to be my answer. I was going to touch on you have to have the space to express your emotions. If there's no space, that's where conflict arises. For me, I reacted a lot as a child in my teenage years because there was no room to express my emotions. So I reacted so that they could see my emotions.
Yes.
But then that didn't go well. So giving space to have the emotions expressed, not fixed, because a lot of us try to fix too. When you try to fix somebody's emotions, it's going to produce anger in you because you want to fix. And so then when you feel like you can't fix it, you're wondering, oh, why are you even having these emotions? You're going to blame them because you want to fix it. But if you don't want to fix it, if you don't need to fix it, you just create space, have space for those conversations to be expressed. Emotions are not facts. No one's emotions are not one person's emotions are right more than the other. Everyone has their own emotions. It's about resolving and knowing how to move forward. Have the space. Create the space. Create the space for conversations to be had openly. And then another thing is that don't wait for the space to be created. You have to have the courage to create it yourself. Be the first one. If your parents are not open to that, especially if you're used to their ways, and we are creatures of habit. Every single human is a creature of habit. So if whatever the environment is already doesn't allow for the conversations, create it. Be the first one to create it. You will not be disappointed. I think I was the first one to create it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not disappointed. Be the first one to create it.
Yes.
It's scary. Yes, it can be very scary. It can be very scary. I agree. I would definitely say that. It's not easy. Your parents, my parents have very strong personalities. And it's not easy it's intimidating. So you still have to have the courage. And then also, if you have God by your side, you'll never fail. So have the courage, exercise it, and have the communication skills to communicate that, to create the environment. Me, I'm very dominant. So I used to just be like, we need to have a meeting. We need to sit down. And then if they're like, oh, I'm busy, I'm like, oh, you don't want to talk, you don't want to talk to your daughter, that we have important things to talk about. Can you humor us with a meeting? So that's my tactic. But, just be strong enough to just initiate. Don't wait. Initiate.
Anything to add, Milca? Not really. Maybe just to add on what because I already said. Yeah, one thing is to know to have the self-awareness, and because that having the self-awareness will help both sides, a parent side and the child, knowing when to, the location as well. Let's say some of you have moved to a new culture. Just have that, grace yourself, and just seek to have the knowledge as we speak. We talk a lot about having communication skills and conflict resolutions and all that.
Yes.
Take time to learn all of that and have knowledge. As if you are listening from the beginning, I said I didn't have those skills. So if you can, if you are listening to this conversation, and then you're about maybe to move to another culture, this will be a very good tip for you, because you'll be prepared. So really, in other words, we are preparing you to not go through what we went through, right? So it's wise to take this advice and wisdom and walk with it. So I think that's
and great conversation. And let's say for the people who are afraid and not sure how it will look like having having to walk a journey like you guys walked that journey to get where you are, what would you say the results of walking that journey are like? Just for encouragement, hey, just take the step despite you're afraid of what it may become of. What would you say? Are you liking the result of what you have become, or?
So I'll say, for example, it's just simple.
Yes.
If I was prideful enough to not, or not being ready to swallow my pride, and accept my daughter to teach me or to help me, with my blind spots. Right now, will be like those who are not talking to their to their children or their parents,
Their grandkids.
Their grandkids. Right now, I won't be enjoying my grandkids.
Yes.
Having that bond, and like the bond that I have with my daughter, my grandkids. Then you'll be missing all the opportunities.
Just to hang on to the feeling of being right.
Yeah, just to hang on just, I want to be right. Just the ego. Not even like just being right. It's just the ego, right?
Yeah.
It's just the ego.
It is, yeah.
But you are missing the mark. You are missing the big picture of seeing yourself 20 years from now, from then. Seeing yourself and your family 25 years after that. Think as a big picture. Be wise enough to look in a big picture.
See what you're producing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's just be wise. The Bible says don't be wise in your own eyes, right? But see the big picture and the good plan that God has for you.
Amen.
For you and the family that He trusted you to bring them in this world. It's worth being humble enough and learn to be close.
Like the tools that we talked about today, like self-awareness, emotional regulation,
yes,
conflict resolution, all these skills and tools that we talked about, they are universal tools. They are for, what I mean by universal is they're for every culture, for every human being. So you decide what you would like your future to look like. If you want a future full of conflict, then don't learn how to resolve conflict and don't have conflict resolution skills. If you are somebody that doesn't want to talk about and express your emotions in a healthy way, then don't learn communication skills. But if you want these things, then these are the tools and the steps. So yeah, I think it's just about what you want.
And no, I totally agree with that. And I know we have touched so many things, and I wish we had the whole day to dig even deeper. I think we'll learn so much from you guys. Is there one or two things that maybe we haven't touched enough that you think, I gotta mention this before I go? Just anything. Feel free to say, hey, these are my parting words, and you can maybe just insert it somewhere.
It's okay, especially as African culture. It's totally not only okay. It's needed to have a friendship between a mother and daughter. It's very vital, and it's very rewarding, and is needed. Is needed from both angles.
Yes.
Yeah. So I would say that 100% for sure. And I felt like also saying that for those of you who are Christian, use the talents and gifts that God has invested in. Because it's not only for yourself, it's for those who are around you as well.
Absolutely.
So, using gifts and talents, you'll be asking, oh, we are talking about mother and daughter. Why are you bringing gifts and talents? I'm telling you, gifts and talents that God has invested in you, they are very vital in so many areas of your life, starting with your family. So trust God who put that talent and gift in you for the edification of those who are around you. Yeah, starting with your family.
Wow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I have nothing to add. That was great.
Yeah. That's beautiful. There's one question, I don't know if I forgot. But I'll bring it up anyway. I know we are finalizing this. But for you, Milca, you said you're in the ministry a lot. How much of time did it take from you, from your family?
For sure, I would. It's good that you brought that question because it has given me opportunity before we close.
Yes.
To mention about whom God used to, to advance the kingdom of God through the ministry that is in me, is my husband. My husband has been talking about support.
Yes.
He has been a huge support system in my ministry. Since my children were very young, he will let me, whenever he is around, he will let me go and do the ministry.
Yes.
I will go, in seminars. I'll go. I will be invited. Like maybe out of the country, and I'll do the ministry while he's at home with the kids. So really, even the time that I was away with, from my children, he was there.
Yes.
Filling the gaps.
The gaps, yes.
Yeah. So I'm very grateful. I'm very blessed to have my husband beside me.
Beside you, yeah.
To help me, raise my kids while I'm serving God.
Amen.
So I would say that. So he with him, he usually say that I don't have a good voice to sing, but I was I'll be here to support you.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll stay with the kids.
Yes.
Just go and do what God has called you.
The point where they've been able to grow, like she has a charity called Love and Hope International. They've been able to grow it so to the level that it's at right now.
Yes.
Because of their support for each other.
For each other, yes.
Yeah, two of them. It's been really nice to see.
Indeed.
Do you mind actually telling us a little bit about that organization, please, the charity?
Yeah, so we have an organization called Love and Hope International. Actually, I have like me for this one here.
Yeah.
It's called Love and Hope International.
Yeah.
We serve young adults, especially girls.
Yes.
In a village west of Tanzania. We have about 17, but we are aiming this coming year to have 20, at least up to 20.
Yes.
Where we help them, they come from rural areas.
Yes. Can I?
They are,
yeah.
Here.
Let's put it here so
okay.
People can see it.
Right. Yeah.
Right there, yeah.
Yeah, so they come from different family, different struggles.
Yes.
From traumatized environments in the rural areas, where some of them we're talking about here, like relationship, mother and child, they have very opposite stories. You will hear them like stories you want to be crying all day because they don't even know where to start and dream having these kind of values that we, God has blessed us with. So my dad passed away when I was 10. My dad was a pastor and a local missionary together with my mom. So my widowed mom were left, as, barely have something to put on the table.
Yes.
So I went through a little bit similar situation with some of them as girls, as, preteen. So this is where, like the vision was birthed in me because my heart was crying so much, thinking that there are some young, girls who are going through even worse situation than I did. Who is going to remember them? And then I was like, I can relate with so many of them.
Yes.
And indeed, God opened the door for me to birth this Love and Hope International.
Yes.
Yeah, and right now we are in the middle of building a shelter for them, because some of them right now we gather them 5 days a week, Monday to Friday.
Yes.
We give them meals. Some of them, they have toddlers. We have like 3 toddlers in the center. And yeah, we give them meals. We pray with them, and so just 8 hours per day.
Yes.
And then after, they go back to their homes, the homes where they cry not to go back to, but we don't have a place to put them. So it is a tough situation, but by the grace of God, we are continuing. Moses was asked by the Lord, "What do you have in your hand?" So we started with what we have in our hands.
Yes.
We built. We bought a land. We built a little bit of office and gazebo, and like where they also sew. They do sewing 3 days a week, so that eventually we can release them and maybe have them sewing machine for those who can have a little bit.
They never even got an education. Like they don't have the means to do that, so they're kind of prepping them to be able to have the resources of an income after.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. And are you guys open to people supporting you? And if
definitely.
so, how can they partner with the ministry?
Yeah, so we can leave maybe the information with you, and then you can share with them maybe on the screen.
There's a website
but
there. But
also there's a website there at the flyer.
Yes.
But and also there's a number.
Yes.
Yeah, like a contact. There's all the contacts will be here.
Yeah.
And also like on Facebook, we're there. On social media, we have also some testimonial videos on YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah. So we can all leave maybe the links with you, and then you can share with whoever. Yeah. We really invite anybody to, to hold hands with us. Yeah.
Definitely.
To reach more.
I will have those links in the description. So for anybody who wants to support that ministry in any way, you can reach out to Milca through the contacts on there and see how you can be part of this big dream.
Yeah.
This hits home for me particularly because even part of my childhood, I grew up in a children's home. And that children's home, actually, my dad sponsored me to come to United States. So he sacrificed a lot to be able to take in a lot of kids like me who are from less privileged families, and just getting education and even sacrificing so much to send me to United States. And there are others who are in other Western countries. It's such an honor.
Amazing.
It's just a noble job. And it just transforms people's life in ways that you can never imagine.
Absolutely.
Right. So I'm talking to you guys right now because he gave me that opportunity.
Absolutely.
You see?
Incredible.
And so what you are doing, you may never know, but the impact that you are doing to those young girls is even unmeasurable. Yes. So keep doing what you are doing, and I encourage people to, check out the work the minister she's doing, and just see how you can participate. Maybe it may not be financial. Maybe you have a great idea. Just reach out to them and see how you can be part of that ministry.
That would be amazing.
Yes. And before we end, I know you're also in the ministry of singing, and I was just wondering if you can maybe sing a cappella one song. I don't know if Jen wants to help, but it's up to you.
Yeah, sure. We can sing together. The hymn that everybody knows, I guess.
We'll let you do that.
Sure.
I want so people can see and. Let's see if this will hold it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good
That
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, go. If any song, please.
Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art! How great thou art! Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art! How great thou art! Roho yangu na ikuimbie jinsi wewe ulivyo mkuu. Roho yangu na ikuimbie jinsi wewe ulivyo mkuu.
Wow. Wow. Now that is a voice. Yes. Wow. Sauti ya malaika kabisa.
So, like I said, I am local to Grand Rapids, Michigan, and I own a beauty business called Verity Beauty GR. And you can find us online through the website veritybeautygr.com. I specialize in bridal makeup, and I offer airbrush makeup for brides. So that is waterproof, smudge proof, sweat proof. It's completely weatherproof for any occasion. So yeah. And I also have a second part to my business where it is kids face painting. So the website to that is joyfulfacesgr.com. And I provide face painting for all occasions, whether it's church events, whether it's birthday parties. You can hire me and my team, and we can provide those services for you.
Absolutely, yeah. So also check out Jen's website and other social media platform like Instagram, and yeah, she has been very active in the community here. The Glimpse of Africa, doing an amazing job with face painting. So if you guys have an activity, family gathering, and you want such services, you can contact her and she'll give you a quote, right? Yes, and promote local businesses,
Yes, support local.
Yes, exactly, yes. Finally, Milca, you also been a musician. Obviously, you have also social media. What's your YouTube or other social media names?
So
what do you go by?
if you just Google Milca Kakete, so Milca, Milca, that's my first name, and last name is Kakete. So anywhere, like once you just search that on Google, it will bring all the social medias, like the YouTube, it will pop up, and or if you go to YouTube searching that name, it will come, and you can see all of my work there, and also on Instagram, and on TikTok as well.
Yes.
Yeah. And Spotify,
Spotify,
all of my
yes.
my songs are in there.
Absolutely. Yeah, and if you learned something from this episode, I will request that you like and subscribe. And also, comment, shout out to these ladies, and just for being open enough to share their personal experiences and life, living life together as mother and daughter. Not everybody has the courage, but I'm hoping that even them sharing that, it will challenge an individual. It will challenge maybe a family member or a family in general to be open to one another in the moment of where things get tough and emotions are high, that you've learned something on the importance of regulating those emotions. And if you have questions about this topic, maybe you can also make a comment there. Maybe they'll be able to respond, or I'll reach out to them and hey, there's this comment here you would like to respond. So let's learn from one another. I think that's the best way, being able to learn one another. That way, if they are things that can be avoided early on, can be avoided. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you to my guest.
Thank you for having us. It's been so fun. Yeah. You're a really great interviewer.
Yeah. Thank you.
You've got great questions.
Thank you. It's technically it's difficult being a producer and also the interviewer. So and that's for the people who are also watching. If you see my eyes facing somewhere else, I'm probably trying to fix something.
Yeah, he's got a whole setup over here.
Yes, and so hopefully you look at me with a lot of grace because I'm juggling a lot of things. But this was really fun.
It was so much fun. I had a good time.
Yes, me too.
Same here. And thank you, Jenny. You know, you said like, I want to come to the podcast.
I do. Yeah.
Really, thank you. Like, you know, sometimes it's hard to know how to approach people because not everybody wants to be in front of the camera.
No, so I love the work that you do and the stories that you're sharing. It's very important work.
Yes, yeah. So thank you for that support. So that's it for today. Until next time, Msafiri family, podcast family, bye-bye.
Bye.
And we love you.
Jesus loves you too.
Yes, Jesus loves you.
Yeah.
And Jesus is the Lord.
Amen.
Amen.